Before I get into this video, I just want to make it clear that I'm not coming on here to tell anyone you should have known better, you should have done this, you should have realized this. That's not at all the spirit that I'm coming on here with. I'm not mad at anyone. I've realized that lately a lot of people are sort of lashing out in anger, and I think it's because of all of the just fear and uncertainty that's going on right now, and I understand it. But that's not at all the spirit that I'm coming to you with today. If you don't already know what I'm about to tell you, it's not your fault. One thing that I always say, well, two things basically, that you can never blame people for, it's not knowing something and not remembering something. Because those are two things that people never do on purpose. You can't not know something on purpose or not remember something on purpose. If you didn't know, I hope that this video is helpful. That's what I'm here for. I really want to come on here and just share knowledge and be a positive voice right now when a lot of people are facing a lot of financial uncertainty. Hi everyone, what is up? This is Jolene from SunshineDiary.com. I am coming here to share with you what I think might be the biggest financial mistake that you're making right now. The thing that is giving you a lot of stress, the thing that is causing you to constantly be living paycheck to paycheck. I want to talk about it because it is actually a super common mistake that people make, and you might be just like me. You might be out here trying to be a girl boss, and I just wanted to let you know that if that is the case, I am here for it. I'm here for you, and we can do this thing together. So let me share with you the biggest thing that you might be doing that's hurting your finances right now. I know that you're expecting me to say, you need to have a budget, because that's what everybody says. You know, there are a few things that everyone says and they are not wrong, but those are not the things that I'm going to say. So if you expect me to say, why didn't you have an emergency fund, or you should have had 16 side hustles, that's not at all what I'm coming on here to say. This is actually something that a lot of people think they're doing right, but they're doing it wrong. And it's not super complicated, but it might be something you haven't thought of before. A lot of people say you need to live within your means. And many people who care at all about their finances, even if they don't have a formal budget, they are trying to live within their means. But still they find that they're living paycheck to paycheck and they have a whole lot of month left at the end of their money all the time. I really realized this about a month ago when a girlfriend of mine posted on Facebook that she noticed a lot of people were recommending that people stock up on vital groceries and so on because a lot of countries were entering lockdown for the first time. And she said she didn't understand where people were going to find the money to purchase extra supplies because it wasn't the end of the month yet. It really hit me then because I had stocked up. And I had stocked up based on the fact that it wasn't the end of the month. Because since it wasn't the end of the month, I had not yet spent all of my grocery budget for the month. But I realized that a lot of people were still finding themselves in the situation where the month hadn't yet ended, but they had pretty much no wiggle room left in their budget, no wiggle room left in their pocket, their wallet, their bank account, however you want to think about it, for them to go and stock up. And I thought, why is that? Why is it that people are running out of money so quickly? And I realized that it's based on this misconception about living within your means. I think that we should probably throw that expression out altogether, because I actually do not recommend that you try to live within your means. A lot of people think, okay, if I make $2,000 a month, living within my means means that I don't spend more than $2,000 a month. All of my expenses, all of my discretionary spending and all of that should amount to about $2,000 a month. And that's where so many people are going wrong. Those of you who know me may know that I have been a freelancer for a decade now. So I know a lot about small business and personal finances. I know a lot about budgeting. I have a lot of experience with this. And if it's one thing that I've learned, it's that you cannot live within your means. You need to live below your means. And if you're not doing that, this could be the reason why you're finding that you keep running out of money. It's a lot deeper than just saving for a rainy day or having an emergency fund, although those are things that I definitely recommend and that I will happily talk to you about in another video. What I'm really talking about here is the fact that if you earn, and I gave the figure earlier of $2,000, it's an imaginary figure, but let's just imagine you earn $2,000 a month. what you need to make sure of is that all of your expenses, everything you can think of that will cost you money in any given month, comes up to significantly less than $2,000 a month. Because what's happening to you is that you're telling yourself you have $2,000 to spend in a month. Your bills and expenses come up to $1,850 in a month. And then your car breaks down, and fixing that car costs you $400. It might be that your electricity bill is a little bit higher than you expected it to be. It can be anything. And all of a sudden, you don't have enough money left at the end of the month. If you're living within your means, then it'll be very easy for you to find that the money that you have, although you're using it wisely, you may not have a formal budget, but you have an idea of how much you earn and how much you spend. But you might be finding that you're still overspending, even though you're not going on a vacation to Hawaii or something every weekend. What's happening is that surprise expenses are costing you money, and that is creating a situation where what you thought you were spending is not actually what you were spending. Now, this is easily solved by creating sinking funds. Sinking funds are a whole different topic, and I will talk about that in a different video because I want this video to be short. My videos are notoriously long, so I want to wrap this up quickly. So I'm not going to talk now about building sinking funds for recurring expenses that are not regular expenses but that you can expect or save up for. That is a different issue. I'm a big fan of sinking funds though, so I definitely want to talk about that one day. Do comment if you are interested, and I can make that one of the next videos that I post. My recommendation to you though is that you ensure that you have at least 10% of your income that you don't know what to do with at the end of the month. If that means that you need to sell your car and buy a cheaper car that's not a gas guzzler, if it means that you need to drastically cut down your grocery expenses, if it means that you need to get rid of your Hulu subscription, whatever that means in your life, it might mean that you even have to leave where you live and rent a cheaper place. But you need to have a minimum of 10% of your monthly take-home pay, your monthly earnings, that you pretty much don't need. That could go to investments or whatever, but that on an average month you will not use. It's not just about savings. A lot of people tell themselves, I earn this amount and I spend this amount, and when I finish paying all of my bills, when I've finished paying for all of my expenses, then I'll save what's left. And maybe that is $50 this month, and maybe it's $200 this month. It changes. That's not good enough. Unfortunately, I wish that were good enough, but it's not. You need to find a way to get yourself in a position where you have 10% extra. That's the gist of it. Stop trying to live within your means. Live below your means. Like I said, I am not here to be critical. All I want to do is help you to get to a better financial place. The very first thing that you have to do, if you find that you've been living paycheck to paycheck, you are struggling during this very difficult period, is of course to reduce your expenses. I don't need to tell you that. You've already figured that out on your own. It's worth it for the peace of mind that it would give you. So absolutely reduce your expenses. That's the first step to take. There are a series of other steps that I would recommend that you take, particularly right now. I have actually outlined them in a blog post, which I will link in the description box so that you can check that out and figure out what are the steps to take, particularly during this crisis, that will help you to secure yourself financially. The next thing that I would absolutely recommend that you do, I know it's super cliche, I've said it before, but it is to drop a budget. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need spreadsheets and all sort of fancy things. Just figure out exactly what are all of the bills that you pay, and then, well, you probably already know what you earn. If not, if you're a freelancer, you're self-employed like I am, then figure out exactly what you earn on average each month and basically subtract one number from the other and try to make sure that the number that amounts to expenses is significantly lower than the income number. That's really all a budget is. But I can also go through that in more depth in another video if you would like me to. I try very hard to fill my channel with interesting and useful content for you. So if you have found this video interesting or useful, please do give it a thumbs up. It would make me feel amazing. Also, if you have enjoyed this video and you think you might enjoy my content in general, do consider subscribing. I would love to have you along for the journey. Anyway, thank you so much for having watched this video, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye.